Hi everyone, I'm Valerie Carricato. Play the drums. I've been playing since I was 10 years old. Well, I wanted to play music because my mother grew up playing trumpet and she kind of brought music into my life. So I was around 10, going into school band, and I tried the trumpet for 2 days and it was a no go. So my mom said, "Why don't you try percussion? You might be better at that." So I went ahead and started percussion, and within 3 days of playing mallets and snare drum, my teacher, Mr. Gathings, came in with a drum kit. He says, "You're going to be bored playing percussion, so here's a kit." So I sat down and learned my rock beat, very first rock beat that everybody needs to learn as a drummer, and went to town. Ever since then, I knew that I really liked it. It was something that made me feel on a spiritual level as well as a physical level different. So I knew that's what I should do. It all started at the East Library in Colorado Springs. They had jams for kids every third Saturday. So I went out to the first jam and I met Art Noble, and he's still a good friend of mine now. He's a great drummer. And he kind of told me, "This is something you want to do, then you need to come out to jam sessions, real ones, not just kid jams." So I went out to my first one. It was at Southside Johnny's in Colorado Springs, and got up on stage and played the blues, and it was really terrifying for the first time. I was 11 years old. So I played jams and networked that way, and met Dewey Steele, who was another drum instructor and a good friend of mine also, and he's the one who ended up kind of pushing me to start playing live. So I was at the Navajo Hogan one night playing a jam, and these two guys actually took my dad outside because I couldn't even be in a bar by myself at 11, so I always had to be escorted by my parents. So these two guys take my dad outside, and my dad goes, "Oh man, if I'm not back in 2 minutes, come and get me." So we had no idea what was going on, so I go out there. After 2 minutes, he hadn't come back in, and we find out that he's setting up a gig for me, and it was going to be the Thursday and Friday night because their drummer was out of town. So I played in my very first performance officially with One Ton Trio, and I was 13 years old, and it was a blast. But I never knew how much endurance it took to drum for 4 hours, 2 nights in a row until then. So that was a rough 2 nights, but after that I realized, yeah, this was fun. This is what I want to do. So like I said, a lot of networking. You see different musicians. And I played with Jeffrey Allen. He's another country artist in Colorado, and he used me as a sub for quite a while, and then I was just kind of going in between different performances and just subbing for a lot of people. And Alan called me originally as a sub because his drummer was kind of sick and not feeling well. So I played 2 performances with Exit West, and then after that the drummer dropped out completely, and I ended up taking over as the full-time drummer for Exit West. And I've been with them for 4 years now, so we've done a lot of different things. We started just playing a local bar called the Carry On Saloon. We did that a lot, and we're pretty fortunate to be playing with Leonard Skinner, opening up for them this summer. So in 4 years, we've come a long way.
Scars on my knuckle matches, scars tell truth. I think we're the chosen few. That's just me. How about you?
So I'm working on 2 albums right now, actually. One with a singer-songwriter in Colorado named Greg Benson. I got hooked up with him because I have a really good friend who owns a studio. His name's Rick Colombo in Colorado Springs. And he's kind of been a good friend of mine, and every time he needs a drummer for any kind of session work, he calls me. So that's how I started doing that album. That should be released sometime this year, hopefully. The next one is down in Austin, Texas. My cousin Skylar, actually, she's a singer-songwriter down there in Austin, and she has always wanted to collaborate with me. And so she called me up last September and said, "Would you be interested in coming down and recording an album with me?" And I said, "Heck yeah!" So I just got done doing the drum tracks to that, and that should also be released sometime, hopefully early 2008. Enjoying life. Just every minute that I get to play drums is a great time. I'm just networking and just really grateful to be able to do what I do and meet all the people I meet along the way. So eventually, obviously, the goal is to get to a level where I can just completely support myself on my music. But until then, I'm really grateful for where I'm at, and I just hope the road keeps going as good as it has.
All right. Thank you very much.